When you start typing in Google search box, a JavaScript says the letters off to a server and the server returns a list of suggestions. All this thanks to AJAX. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, I introduce you to PHP AJAX. I will also demonstrate how AJAX can update parts of a web page without reloading the whole page. But just before we go any further, let's understand what is AJAX. Remember, you can use the timestamp in the description of this video to move to any part of this video. That out of the way, let's get started. So AJAX usually is an acronym for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It's usually a technique for creating fast and dynamic web pages, and it also allows web pages to be updated asynchronously by exchanging small amounts of data with the server behind the scenes, which means that it is possible to update parts of a web page without reloading the whole page. Isn't that cool? Classic web pages, of course, which do not use JavaScript, must be reloaded every time any change is made. Examples of applications that usually use AJAX includes the Google Maps, Gmail, YouTube, and also the Facebook tabs. Well, before we write any code, let me demonstrate what we'll be doing in this video. So in front of me is Google Chrome, and open is a simple form that has only one field name, and that is a name. Down at the form I have suggestions, and as soon as I start typing in this field name, I start getting suggestions based on the first letter that I have typed, just like that. And if say I come and type a letter like Y, I get a message no suggestion. So this is basically what we'll be creating in this video, and without so much ado, let's get to coding. And so here I am in a Visual Studio and already created the two important files that we'll be requiring for this tutorial, that is index.php and gethint.php. Under the index.php, I already have the basic HTML structure that we require. We'll be getting to the gethint.php file later. So in the index.php, I'm going to go straight to the head of the HTML structure, and here I'm now going to come and have the basic JavaScript code that we require to get the suggestions once the user starts typing anything in an input field. So we get straight to that, and here I'm just going to come and say script, and I come and close it down here. So again, script, and now inside this script, the first thing that I'm going to have here is the function show hint that will be executed once the user types a character in the input field. So I'm just going to come and say a function, and the function name will be show hint, just like that. And now the show hint variable, or the show hint function, will have a variable called str variable that will hold the content of the input field. So I'm just going to come and have str within the set of brackets, and then after that I'm going to come and again create a set of curly brackets. Now after that, the next thing that you want to do is to check if the user has typed anything in the input field. So to do that, we are going to come and use the if statement, and the condition will be str. Remember, the str is the variable that is holding whatever the user has typed in the input field. So we are going to come and test the length of whatever is in the str. So I'm just going to come and say str.length. So this should be length, just like that, and I'm going to say if it is equal 0, that means there is nothing. We should echo nothing or no suggestion. So to be able to do that, we are going to come and write this code. So we'll say a document dash get element get element by ID, and a set of brackets, a set of quotes inside that, and then we say text hint. Outside that, we're also going to come and say dot inner HTML. That should be in caps, so that will be equal to nothing. Then we close that line, and down here we come and say return. So nothing else should happen beyond there. Else if the str length is not equal 0, it is greater than 0, then we want to come and create a request that will be sent to the get hint.php, so that we get the suggestions. And this is the code for the request that we are going to send to the get hint.php. Now, after writing the request that will be sent to the get hint.php to get the hint, we now want to come and have the code that will be used now to send the request. So we are now going to come and have the code to send the request down here. And that is basically it. So that is the JavaScript code that we need to be able to first execute when the user starts typing anything in the input field, and we want to come and grab that using the str variable. And if the user has really typed anything, then it will be a request to be created to grab that, and it will be sent to a file we are calling gethint.php that is going to, of course, now give suggestions based on what the user has typed. So now down here, of course, in the body, we are going to have a basic form, So here I'm just going to come and say form. So I'm just creating the basic HTML form that will be used to input the data. So maybe we can say put start typing your name, maybe. Start typing your name, and we're going to have the input, and it'll have the ID as maybe first name, and the name being equal to maybe again first name. And the most important thing is the on key. So you should have your input field with this attribute. So on key up is equals a show a hint, a set of brackets, this value. Maybe here we can have maybe h4, and these will have the suggestions. So suggestions. So now we are expecting now the suggestions to appear here. So if I maybe save that, so we check on a browser, and yes, as you can see, we have that specific form there, but now if we start typing anything, nothing will happen for now. So now that we have created the AJAX.php and all that information is good, now we want to head on to the get hint.php. So this is the file that is receiving the request. And so here I'm just going to come and say PHP. It's not necessary that I close it there, but let me just close it. And the first thing that you want to have here is array with the name suggestions. And the way we create is we say variable a, you can have any variable, and then a set of square brackets, then you set it to equal to the name that you want to put there. Maybe I can come and say for a, I say maybe Anita, like that. So I'm going to have a set of them here. So what I'll just do is I'll duplicate this, because I want to have as many suggestions as you can possibly get. So like that. So let me just fill in these names, because I'm just going to come and change these names here, and then after that I'll get back. So the first thing that we're going to do now after creating that array of words there is to set the queue parameters from the URL. So remember, in our AJAX.php we have this request that was created, and it is being sent to the getHint.php. So we want to come and receive it here, and the first thing that we're going to do is to create a variable called queue and set it to a request. So I'm just going to come and say a request and a set of brackets within which we're going to come and have the variable queue, because the information, as you can see in the getHint.php, we have this queue here. So that is the one that we are getting here as well. So this should be a small letter like that. And this should be a set of square brackets instead. So we should not have the normal brackets there. So it should be like that. And we should also have another variable down here, hint. And we are going to set that to equal to nothing. Now after that, we want to look up for the hints based on the user's input in our array here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to create a comment and say a lookup for hints from the array based on users input. That was right. Input. And what I'm going to do here, the first thing I'll do is to say if, and here we are saying if, and the condition will be a variable q is not equal to. So I'll say is not equal to, so that's why I'm putting an exclamation mark, and then is not equal to nothing. So if we have received something from the user, we're going to come and now say the value or the variable q is equals to strt, and then or a set of brackets, and then we have the variable q. And then again here you're going to come and create another variable called length is equals to str length. So that is the length of the variable q. And then now to be able to get the name, so to be able to go through this array and get the name based on the input from the user, we're going to come and use the for each, and here we'll only have the variable and the key. So I'll remove the value, and the variable will be a and the key will be name. Now within the for each, we are going to have an if statement, and the condition of the if statement will be str. So be very careful with these ones. A set of another brackets and say q comma sub str, another set of brackets, and then the variable name, comma 0 comma, and the variable rem. And now within that if statement, we are going to come and have another if statement, And for this one, the condition will be hint. If the hint is equal nothing. So if that is the case, then we'll come and say hint is equals a variable name. Else, so we come down here and say else hint is equals the variable name. And just like that, so we have finished, we're almost done with that. So now we want to come now down here and now output no suggestion if there is no hint. So I'm just going to come and have a comment and say output no suggestion if there was no hint. So to be able to do that, we're going to come and say echo the variable hint is equal empty. So if it is equal empty, question mark in quotes, we say no suggestion. Then we say the variable hint, then we close that statement. And now if we save the changes, we should be able to at least see something. So let me just go to my browser here, just refresh it. Then we start typing something here like A, and we get nothing. That means we have a problem with the JavaScript. So let's try to solve that. Yes, and we forgot one more thing here in the suggestion. We should come and have the span, and the span should have an ID of text hint. And now if we come and start typing something here, we start getting suggestions. And if there is nothing matching our list of names, we get no suggestions. And it is as simple as that, but you have to be very careful with the spelling, otherwise your code will not work. So that is just a basic introduction to AJAX. So let me know in the comments below if you would like more of such tutorials. See you in the next one, and as usual, stay safe.